What are the dangers to avoid when doing Texas tax deeds? So Texas is one of the best places to buy tax deeds. They have the most counties, they have the most auctions. However, there are a few mistakes that the average tax deed investor needs to avoid. Otherwise, you can lose money and go down in flames. I've seen some people really lose a lot of money there because they didn't know what they were doing. So today, we're going to dive in to the things that you need to know if you want to buy property 60, 70, 80% below market value in Texas. And if you pay attention to this, you'll always be able to get profitable deals. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to break it down. Let's jump in. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the best dressed man in the tax lien game coming in with a hot new banana shirt, Mr. Corey Chason. Welcome
Thank you,
to
Dustin.
the party. And Corey and I are going to walk you guys through some of the dangers of Texas tax deeds. We do love Texas, but if you go there, man, it is the Wild West, and you got to watch out. You want to take a shot from 6-shooter. So, Corey, what's one of the big dangers that these guys need to watch out for when traveling to the Lone Ranger State?
Lone Star State?
Lone Star.
There you go. It's all right. Don't judge them too harshly, folks.
Please don't.
So a big thing especially with Texas and counties that have a lot of sales every month is the title work. So you want to just make sure that everyone gets notified that needs to be notified. The way tax sales work, tax deed sales, is that when you go to the tax sale, before the tax sale happens, the county, according to like legislator and statutes, they have to notify all parties interested in the tax sale. And when they do notify all parties, then the interest that those parties have in the property, meaning like their mortgages, their liens, encumbrances, whatever it is, those basically, when the county notifies them, the county's saying these are going to get wiped if you don't do anything about it. So do something about it or it's going to get wiped. And so once they've been notified, that's that. And that's how you can get properties for just the back taxes owed, because all the mortgages and liens generally get wiped off of them. And so that's a huge thing. And I'll throw it back to you, Dustin, to kind of further explain.
That's right. The next big thing is what we call the homeowner association fees. These things, we've seen devastation, havoc wrecked. Before I do that, if you like this stuff, make sure to hit the thumbs up. If you want to learn about tax liens and deeds, government seized properties, all that sort of stuff, we do our best to try to help you guys have a good time, get some properties, crack into the real estate game. So hit the subscribe button and, tell us what's the worst thing you've seen at an auction in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. So one of the biggest mistakes. So, for example, let's take Harris County. We like to use that as an example. Now, Texas has the most counties, the most auctions, and it's awesome because they do auctions every single month, which is great. So you can really get in the game quick, and you can do this stuff now remotely because a lot of these auctions are online. One of our students will go to like the Harris County, and then he'll have like 2 laptops and a phone and be simultaneously going to like 5 other auctions at the same time. So you don't have to live there now to do these auctions, which is cool. However, one of the biggest mistakes that's made is a lot of rookies will go and they'll see maybe a $300,000 property going up to auction, and the opening bid is like $4,000, and they're like, oh wow, this is awesome. And then they go and they bid it up, and we've literally seen this happen where it's like, yeah, I got this $300,000 property, I got it for $120,000, and they're all fired up. And what ends up happening is they know nothing about this business. They got the list. They didn't realize, because the homeowner associations will send their collections to the sheriff's sale to collect. So it could be the same sheriff auctioning off a homeowner association fee. So the problem with that is it doesn't wipe out mortgages and other things like the tax deed. So you can get burnt hard. And we've seen people get burnt inheriting properties that maybe they spent 50, 60, 100 grand, and it has a $200,000-$300,000 mortgage and all this stuff. It doesn't get wiped out because what did they do, Corey? What did they fail to do?
They failed to check the notifications, or they just didn't understand actually the sale, more importantly.
And I wonder if we know anybody that has some free training that could show them how to do it.
Oh, I don't know. What is that?
It'll show you guys all the questions to ask. The stuff is totally free. ABCs of tax lien and deed investing is below. We literally have everything laid out. Tax lien and deed 101. It's free. And this channel shows you how to do it as well if you click in the description. Now, this is not to say that homeowner association properties
Mhm.
can't be profitable.
Right.
Because let's say it's a $300,000 house and even there's a mortgage on it for 80. And if there's 10,000 in fees owed and it goes to auction and maybe you get it for 20 or 30, you can still be getting a property at 50, 60% below
Yeah.
market value. Now, it might not be that, massive home run 90, 95% off, but, we're here to make money. So depending on how much you have, nothing wrong with a quick flip if you're paying a bit more. But the beauty of liens and deeds is you can get in and buy properties super cheap and work your way up. So, yeah, Corey, what else? What else do you have with these guys?
Yeah, I think the last thing that I have thought of is the just checking to see if the property exists. And so we've seen a lot of people make this mistake, and Dustin, you've talked about this even way back, since the inception of tax liens and deeds, people have been doing this.
200 years ago.
Yeah, 200 years. Looking on Google Maps. For 200 years, they've been looking on Google Maps. And people will be like, oh, yeah, that's enough research. And they'll just be like, okay, that's great. Yeah, I'll buy it. And they bid on this property, and there's actually not the property that they thought was on it. And so this happened to us I think it was in Texas. It may have been in Arkansas, but there was a property we looked at in Google. We always initially look on Google Maps just to see, okay, what's roughly there. And that's great. That's fine if it's your initial source. But then we drove it with students, and when we got there, it was just a straight up concrete slab. And if my memory serves me correctly, someone paid 50 grand for that concrete slab, which may or may not have been a good deal. I forget the numbers on it, but I almost can guarantee that they didn't check to see that there wasn't a property on there, because that's a lot of money to pay for a concrete slab. So you just always want to make sure that you can do your initial research with Google Maps. That's fine. But always make sure that you get eyes on the property especially if you're spending over like $5,000, if it's like a $300,000 house and you can't see it and you're only spending $5,000, you can roll the dice with that. But for the general purpose of what we're talking about, always make sure you can see that house, or someone else can see that house
for tax deeds.
That's right.
That's kind of the golden rule for the tax deeds, is to go and see it. Not like, we've seen this so many times where people will look on like Zillow or Google Earth or Google Streets, and yeah, sure, when the Google thing drove by, there was a house there, but maybe it burnt down, maybe it was flooded, maybe an earthquake, or, well, not in Texas, but a hurricane or something like that, right? Which brings me to the next step, is the second you buy that property, put property insurance on that property. We use a company called Farmers Insurance. They'll get you insured. That way your investment is protected the moment that you get it. Now, don't let that deter you from going. This is still an amazing way to get into real estate. You can buy really cheap properties and then flip them, work your way up. And Texas is one of our favorite spots because it has the most counties. They have auctions every single month, and you can do it there. You just need to take action. And once again, for anybody tuning in, we have the tax deed directory. So we have all of the contact information for every county in Texas in this thing. You just got to pick it up. It is in the description below. From there, if you want some help with this stuff, it can be tough out there. If you're struggling in a 9-to-5 grind and you want to use real estate to kind of use as your launch pad out, we do some coaching and mentoring to help you get started in the business, show you what to do, what not to do, really dial it in and help you get started in this business. So if you click the description below, there's a link to the free book. There's a link to book a call with us. We can see if it's a fit, see maybe if you want some help doing this to really speed it up. And really, we really appreciate you guys tuning in. So if you like it, thumbs up, subscribe, ask us a question. We would love to hear from you. And thanks a lot for watching. Corey, we shall tune out.
Yeah, sounds good. See you, everybody.
Ciao.